Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're diving into something that is literally life or death for any modern business. We're talking about the architecture of survival and exponential growth. Way too many leaders just brush off organizational structure. They treat it like it's just boring paperwork or some annoying HR formality. And honestly, that is a fatal mistake. A robust organizational structure is actually your ultimate strategic lever. It's the engine room of your company's power, it's the shield for your assets, and it's the exact metric that high-level investors use to figure out if you're a premium asset or just a massive liability. So let's break down exactly how the right structure transforms pure chaos into serious capital. Let's kick things off with a pretty harsh reality check. The Business Journal exam put it perfectly. A disorganized company does not survive in the market. It's that simple. The market absolutely does not forgive chaos. If your internal operations are a total mess, it really doesn't matter how revolutionary your product is. When you don't have internal controls, your market presence is just fragile. You might enter the market with a huge bang, sure, but without structure, you're going to disappear just as quickly. The modern business environment ruthlessly filters out the disorganized. And hey, we're not just talking about having a messy desk or a cluttered inbox here. We are talking about fatal vulnerabilities. Think about it. If you lack IT governance, your proprietary information and your customers' data are basically primed to leak. What about your supply chain? A lack of vetting there means you could unknowingly contract with suppliers using slave labor. That's an absolute reputation destroyer. And what happens when major clients or investors come knocking? If you show them a complete lack of control, you're going to fail their audits. The end result? You get automatically excluded from premium market opportunities. So, how do we fix this? Well, it requires completely reframing a concept you probably think is super boring, the organogram. Most people just see it as this static, lifeless chart hanging on a wall somewhere. But the Gestão 360 framework defines it entirely differently. It sees the organogram as a vital, strategic instrument of corporate governance. It's the literal roadmap of exactly how power flows through your company. It dictates your decision-making, and it drives your operational efficiency. When you design your organogram, you aren't just drawing boxes. You are architecting the brain and the nervous system of your entire business. Now, the actual model you choose here is going to directly impact your bottom line. Highly vertical structures, honestly, they're amateur hour in today's fast-paced market. They are completely bogged down by excessive bureaucracy, agonizingly slow response times, and just massive communication bottlenecks. On the flip side, horizontal and integrated models are the modern gold standard. They favor agility, rapid innovation, and real interdepartmental collaboration. If you want to build a highly adaptive organization that can actually pivot when the market shifts, horizontal integration isn't just nice to have, it's non-negotiable. Let's bring this down to earth a bit with the Gestão 360 framework. It's essentially a comprehensive 5-step methodology for total corporate organization. It moves systematically. First, it defines that flow of power we talked about. Then it moves straight into departmentalization and setting up cost centers. From there, it tackles structural tax planning, legal normalization, so things like licenses and technical norms. And finally, it secures the crucial protection of your industrial property. It's a complete step-by-step roadmap to take a business from total chaos to total control. A really huge part of this modern structure is something we call the transversal web. Because listen, high-level strategic areas simply cannot operate in isolated silos anymore. Functions like information technology, risk management, compliance, and corporate governance, these are transversal. They cut across the entire organization, supporting every single department simultaneously. Because of that, their costs, their responsibilities, and their success indicators actually have to be shared across all cost centers in a matrix structure. That's how you guarantee unified systemic support. But here is where it gets really exciting. Deep structural organization isn't just about compliance and dodging risk, it's about massive financial ROI. Once your departments and cost centers are structured properly, you unlock the ultimate strategic lever, tax optimization. Having a structured tax plan that perfectly aligns with your operational reality lets you analyze your tax burden and find brilliant, 100% legal opportunities to slash what you owe the government. It is a high-level corporate chess move. To give you an idea of exactly how powerful this can be, consider the famous chocolate strategy. So there was this major chocolate company, and they realized their famous chocolate bonbons were getting hit with a 5% IPI rate. That's the industrialized products tax. So, what did their highly structured legal and tax team do? They subtly changed the product's composition, they swapped the twist tie packaging for a fully sealed wrapper, and they legally reclassified the product from a bomb to a wafer. And they did all of this while keeping the exact same commercial name on the shelf. And the result of that tiny, brilliantly structured pivot? Their tax burden for that product dropped to 0%. Literally zero, just by fully understanding the rules and having the organizational agility to implement a slight manufacturing pivot, they wiped out millions in taxes. It was such a brilliant, legally sound maneuver that their competitors were forced to copy the exact same strategy just to survive. That right there is the literal cash value of a deeply organized business structure. But listen, once you create that kind of massive financial value, you've got to protect it. You need to build a corporate fortress. And that requires strict adherence to all legislation, plus a complete inventory of your tax obligations so you don't get hit with devastating fines. You have to keep all your licenses completely up to date. And crucially, you absolutely must actively protect your intellectual and industrial property, your brands, your patents, your software. These are your most valuable intangible assets. If your structure isn't protecting them, you are just handing away your competitive edge. All right, so you've got your fortress built. Your operations are highly optimized. Now we arrive at the ultimate goal, the premium horizon. This is all about viewing your company through the eyes of a heavyweight investor, like a venture capital firm or a major private equity fund. Investors aren't just out there looking for a fun idea, they are hunting for a premium, scalable asset. They expect a company that operates with the precision of an Apple or a Tesla. They need to know, without a doubt, that your business architecture is built for explosive growth. But to actually convert that mere investor interest into serious capital deployment, you need a precise strategic narrative. It's a progression. First, you clearly define a massive market problem. Second, you demonstrate your structured solution, which proves your operational house is completely in order. Third, you highlight your competitive differentials, like, say, that 0% tax optimization strategy we talked about. And finally, you show real traction and project your exponential growth. You're taking dry operational data and transforming it into an irresistible, high-value narrative. Underpinning that entire narrative are specific psychological triggers that you have got to activate in the investor's mind. And your organizational structure is what proves these triggers are actually real. See, an organized company projects unshakable authority and strategic security. Investors know their capital isn't going to get swallowed up by compliance fines or supply chain scandals. When you combine that solid security with a verified social proof, demonstrable scalability, and a truly visionary outlook, you trigger absolute scarcity. You make the investor feel like this is a rare premium asset they literally cannot afford to miss out on. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a critical audit to perform on your own business today. I want you to look objectively at your current architecture. Ask yourself, does your organizational structure inspire the unshakable confidence of a premium scalable asset? Or does it reveal a chaotic lack of control that's inevitably going to get you excluded from the market? The choice between remaining in chaos and unlocking premium value, it's entirely in your hands.